Hello, friends, and welcome to the stream. My name is Lee, and it is Friday. And I'm excited about Friday. Let's do it. Let me go to Twitch. Alright. Okay. Alright. Oh! We have a new follower, so that's fun. There's that. And, we're gonna go to my showing up. Okay. Yes. As you might be able to tell, I'm having lunch while I do stream because I always eat on stream. It's kind of how we vibe. Those of you who are regulars to the stream would know that this is kind of how it goes. Let me just do this. Today is a fun day. I will admit, today is a really fun day. Do that. Why? Because it's Friday. So, alright. Oh. That actually sounds really yummy, and I'm going to make it at some point. Oh. We're going to do a little research. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to tell everyone we're online. That's the plan. If you guys are good with that, I need to actually reply to, okay. Okay. Interesting. Tomorrow, I believe, let me, let me do this. You are going to hang out with me while I do this, if that's okay with you guys. So, the play is... Good morning, Wookie! Hi! Welcome! It's Friday, and I didn't really have too much of a plan. You know what we're going to do, actually? So, my grand plan was to... Actually, let me open this up. Let's go to... Last time we did... Earthwatch, Dark Heresy... No, we didn't have it yet. Okay, So, in, Calixus Sector, no, we need T. Thirsty Sword Lesbians is down in T. I'm going to do another Thirsty Sword Lesbians unless you have something really fun you wanted to do other than Thirsty Sword Lesbians, because I'm all for audience participation, so if you really wanted to do something else. I think tomorrow we're probably going to end up doing Warhammer Fantasy, because she's been pressuring me on... honestly, caving. Alright, let's do it then. Let me open it up. This one. But that has some fun stuff in it. We'll look into that in a minute. But first, ta-da! Oh no, it's not up. Hang on. It's not up yet. Let me do the thing. It should be, boop! Ta-da! Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. Okay. Alright, let's see. Ooh, there's okay. So there's all those fun ones. Let's see what we got. 154. The best day of their lives. Oh, this is fun. You represent. This is. It's fun. You represent the sovereigns of the interstellar realm of Cryptopia on a diplomatic mission to the neighboring empire of Heteronormia. The crown prince of the Heteronorman Empire is to be married. As the delegation, you're there to advance the interests and values of your people. This adventure tends to fall on the goofy end of the tone spectrum, and you can also be a cathartic power fantasy. Ooh, that's fun. After a chilly welcome, you discover that the crown prince is missing on his own wedding day, and they're going to blame you. Of course they are. As your player selects their playbooks, ask the following questions. If the listed playbooks aren't in play, ask the question of someone else. Everyone should answer at least one question. If more than one named playbook's in play, they can each answer from their own point of view or agree on an answer. The wedding will take place on a particular planet within the Empire of Heteronormia. What is this planet most known for, and what is the planet called? Now, this is where we're getting good, because, okay, Heteronormia we're not going for, but we are going for Haven and the Void Empire. And maybe the Void Empire and Heteronormia are the same country, or we could work this setting into the other one. I'm interested in this. If you're chosen, are you the bride? Is marrying the prince your destiny, and do you want it to be your destiny? Do you actually like him? If the chosen isn't the bride, who is, and why is this wedding politically important? Do you have a direct stake in the wedding going forward? Devoted or seeker? What do the people of this planet do better than Cryptopia? Ooh, that's a thought. Infamous or scoundrel? Why are the battle nuns of Heteronormia so powerful in battle? Ooh, that's fun. They have battle nuns. You've heard a legend of a dangerous creature that lives in the wilderness on this planet. What is it, and how can you tell when it has struck? GM section contains spoilers. Okay. I think let's do it. What's really going on? One possibility. Now, granted, keep in mind that because it is, GM can just take, as GMs are wont to do, simply take the premise and run with it and do something really crazy. So, it could be anything, number of things going on. I can think of several, but this is one possibility. Sorry. Also having lunch while streaming. Alright, let's see what's really going on. Alright. First of all, Heteronormia is ridiculous. It's a bit scary, certainly, with its spacefaring navy and fearsome battle nuns, but it's also fairly over-the-top parody of real-world patriarchy. As written, it's specifically a parody of Western patriarchy with room to tailor the elements to focus on what you want to mock or rewrite for a different feel. The princess of Heteronormia is in love with the bride and has conspired with the prince for him to be abducted by his boyfriend. Oh, that's fun. Oh, wow. Okay. So, his sister is in love with the bride. They've conspired to have him kidnapped by his boyfriend, a revolutionary. In other words, they're both going to need the help. Of course, the Cryptopians bring their own complications. Infamous or the scoundrel might have wronged the bride or the princess. The chosen may have a nemesis on the scene. A seeker may be a native of Heteronormia and find the internal conflict becomes external. The bride is not rigidly defined in this scenario so that her identity can be tailored to an ongoing game, or the chosen can step into the role, or the players can have input into who she is and why they have a stake in what's going on. That's true. What the prince? Well, it's a whole separate stake. If the chosen takes the role of bride, the princess will likely try to woo them during the chaos. Of course they will. Of course she will. Scene ideas. The Cryptopian vessel is directed to a somewhat remote landing site where they are greeted by a squad of battle nuns led by Captain Dolores. She informs that them in an unenthusiastic tone that it's her duty to greet them and escort them to the wedding venue. This scene is an opportunity to do at least 2 things. All right, let's get some behind the scenes goodie, because it does actually play with this. Like, it is an interesting, a peek behind the GM screen is kind of fun, and it does help. I know it's kind of spoilery and interest on the player side, but it's actually very interesting from the perspective of the GM and the storyteller or writer, Make it clear that Captain Dolores isn't happy with the Quirtopian's presence. Privately, she's fiercely devoted to Princess Jennifer of Heteronomia, and she knows the princess has become confused about her sexuality of late. She's looking to reason to confine the Quirtopians and keep them away from the princess. So she's trying to keep them away from the princess so that she doesn't become a lesbian. Okay. Which, if she is, she is. It's not going to fix it, but, it's fun. Start to highlight the overtop elements of Heteronomia. What is the wedding venue? A sports arena? A brand new resort built on a paved-over slum or a clear-cut endangered forest? A cathedral devoted to the solemn ritual of marriage? Build on the questions you asked the PCs. The missing groom. Ooh. This is fun. Shortly after arriving at the venue, the PCs overhear an alert on Dolores is communicated. The prince has been abducted. A report says that the investigators found glitter at the site of the struggle, cementing Dolores' excuse to blame the Quirtopians. The site might also resemble an attack by the legendary creature of the world's wilderness. In truth, Prince Bradley's boyfriend, Captain Cucumber. I named his boyfriend Captain Cucumber. I like this. It's faked a monster attack to cover the prince's escape. But Captain Cucumber, being a great fan of Quirtopia, has left some glitter behind. More on Cucumber later. Oh, he is fun. Okay. At this point, the PCs will likely want to prove their innocence and help investigate the prince's disappearance. Dolores doesn't want them to leave, so they may have to sneak out or find another way to escape. Ooh, that could be fun. If they stay and gather information from the assembled guests, Princess Jennifer will find them, expressing her pleasure that they came. She is suspiciously unconcerned about her brother's disappearance. It's also the first friendly face the PCs met in Heteronomia, unless they've already seduced Dolores, which is a distinct possibility. I mean, oh yeah. Jennifer actually knows a great deal of what's going on here, and the PCs may get a pretty good picture of things if they get her to confide in them. Of course, they may also get the impression that she's the villain, arranging the abduction of her brother, or they may be separated when a concerned parent or battle nun intervenes. The battle nuns may also insist on searching the ship and intend to plant evidence. What Jennifer really wants, but is afraid to ask for, is to invoke the ancient tradition on Heteronomia. If an elder sibling can't go through with a marriage, the younger sibling takes their place. Of course, the Hets never contemplated the same-sex wedding, or really thought of women as people at all, because it's a sad, miserable place, okay? Jennifer and the bride are afraid of that reaction if they invoke the tradition, or perhaps the bride is unwilling to invoke it, unless she knows Jennifer will stand up to her parents. Or she's just straight. Maybe the bride is straight, and she doesn't want to marry Jennifer, and Jennifer's in love with her. That's an interesting plot point. Like, what if the bride just isn't interested in marrying Jennifer? Does she actually love the prince? Maybe, maybe not. Does she actually want to marry Jennifer? That's an interesting question. It's perfectly alright if the PCs learn none of this at this stage and run off to investigate the prince's disappearance. They'll have another chance later. Always give your PCs multiple chances to find things out, because they will miss obvious hints. If they will. It's inevitable at some point. PCs will likely find themselves investigating the site of Prince Bradley's disappearance at some point. The site has been doctored to make it look like an attack of the legendary beast, and there is indeed glitter. Quirtopian glitter, which would only be available on the black market in Heteronomia. Ooh, black market glitter. Now the PCs have a plausible way of tracking. They can pursue the prince's abductor to a secret hideout. Don't make this too hard. Crime scene investigation isn't the focus of the game, and the PCs are badasses. The trail leads them to the lair of Captain Cucumber. Give it an over-the-top revolutionary pirate aesthetic. Ooh, gay pirates. Gay pirates are awesome. Captain Cucumber has no direct exposure to Quirtopian culture. He learned about it through, the queer-coded villains. Oh, yep, the coded villains of Heteronomia media and caricatures. But he embraces it. Oh, bless his heart. Bless his gay little heart. He's got the black market glitter and the rainbow cape and is committed to the revolution. He hopes that the footage of his daring and romantic adventure with Prince Bradley will inspire others. To that end, he has a variety of nets and non-lethal traps set up in the entrance to his lair, and he is prepared to confront his pursuers while Bradley hides in the closet and films the whole thing. The first PC to enter should defy disaster or find themselves ensnared, and Captain Cucumber eagerly challenges any other pursuers to a duel. Sorry. When he realizes they're Cryptobians, he's simply thrilled to be dueling with them. He doesn't want to hurt them, he wants to put on a good show for the camera. He's going to be famous! And when he seems to be the right moment, he exclaims, "Why would you get in the way of true love?" and strikes a dramatic pose, revealing Bradley, if the PCs haven't discovered him already. The two lovebirds don't have much of a plan. Bradley thinks Jennifer will take his place at the wedding. He doesn't know that she's having cold feet about invoking her interpretation of the heteronormian tradition. Also, so he assumes that either his bride isn't interested or that she is so uninterested in either of them that she'll go along with it either way. Or just... Ooh, that's a thought. Make the bride ace. And she really isn't into the vibe of weddings. And dang, that's how you do it. Ace bride for the win. Alright, we'll have to deal with that later. Yes, ace bride for the win. After that, he might just slip away. He's terrified of his parents and wants to flee to Greytopia, while Captain Cucumber wants to stay and fight to change things. Two weddings and a duel? The adventure can go many different ways from here. The prince and princess aren't willing to confront their parents, though the PCs might be able to persuade them. They'll probably need backup, though. Whether through trickery, persuasion, blackmail, or valor, the PCs need to out these lovebirds if they're going to have their happy ending. Pick an NPC to be the main obstacle to the wedding. You can let the PCs at them directly or pace things out more by putting obstacles in their path. For instance, Captain Dolores truly cares about her childhood friend, the princess, but hasn't accepted sexuality. The queen and or king definitely have swords and are prepared to use them. The prince and princess need emotional support if they're going to stand up to their parents' disapproval. Captain Cucumber wants to escalate things too... Oh, he wants it full on. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, if he discovered his sexuality through watching Paraquoted Villains, yeah, this is how this happens. I wouldn't make him the bad guy, though. Because he's the only actually male NPC we have in, like, the whole frickin' thing. So, some of the other PC lovebirds become enamored with the PCs as well. Ooh, that's fun. The PCs should have the opportunities to hash out their issues with themselves or one another. At the end, we'll see who has grown and whether the new generation of heteronormians can be the ones with the ones they love. Characters. Queen Martha Chadworth. Sorry, they named the king of heteronomia Chadworth. Branson and Martha. Jennifer, the princess. Bradley, the groom. Captain Dolores, Battle 9. Sister Frances. Sister Maribel. Captain Cucumber, gay revolutionary. And adorable baby guy. He's... Further adventures. Captain Cucumber wants to make good on the revolution and also wants to learn how to move past the stereotypes he's been taught and become part of a community he's never had. Huh? I don't know if a system of patriarchy rejects any changes of heart from the people in power and seeks to dispose them in favor of something even worse. Will the PCs support the royal family as a lesser evil, or will they use this moment to seek more radical change? Ooh, fun. The Sovereigns are so delighted that they dispatch the PCs to a series of weddings as envoys and perhaps interstellar wedding planners. Okay. Sure. And now their officially just job is to go to weddings and get into trouble. I mean... Okay. I like this. This is interesting. Especially interesting if you put heteronormia as... If you push it in and combine it with the Haven... Like, I think it has enough vibe. It's a little craziness, but okay. Joyful people range far and wide in the Valley of Three Rivers between two mountain ranges. Despite the great distances, each community of the people sends a delegation to the Island of Stars every year to share news, rituals, and camaraderie. Ooh, fun. The climax of the Constellation Festival is the Fire Dance, where representatives light their fires from the Eternal Star, a stone wreathed flame that never goes out and doesn't burn living things. Early in the festival, PCs discovered that the Eternal Star is missing. It would be conspicuous for anyone to leave the festival early, so it can't have gone far. Ooh, someone stole the epic plot MacGuffin. As a group, answering the following questions to develop your shared world. So this is interesting. Absolutely, world building with your PCs is a great, like, a team building exercise. It's just an interesting that you have it, This one. What is the PC's relationship to the Constellation Festival? Custodian of the Island of Stars, hosting the event. Delegation from far-off group seeking the festival for the first time. A mix of some first-timers and some for whom this is their last opportunity to attend. Do you want to do fake dating hijinks? If so, it's expected that each delegation is in a fully connected polycule, meaning everyone is dating each other. The PCs aren't in a polycule, but authority figure in your community has urged you to pretend that you are, or your group will lose status. Ultimately, each delegation must include a couple. Ooh, fun. After your players select their playbooks, ask the following questions. If the listed playbooks are in play, ask the question of someone else. Everyone should answer at least one question. If more than one named playbook is in play, then they can each answer from their point of view or agree on an answer. Voted or seeker. Oh, so if they voted and the seeker, you would have... which values of your community aren't shared by the wider society of the Joyful People? Nature Witch or Spooky Witch? Why is the Island of Stars so significant to the Joyful People? Beast or Scoundrel? What traditions... what traditional purpose do your swords fulfill at the festival? Chosen. What event marks the climax of the Constellation Festival? Which group of the people failed to send a delegation this year, and why is that ominous? Finally, each PC should define one NPC they look forward to seeing and ones they don't want to see, who are going to show up, because as a DM, if your PCs really don't want to see someone, you absolutely want to include them. Make the stake personal. Here we go. Make the stakes personal. Take advantage of the NPCs created by your players. Build toxic powers out of the answer to the first and last questions. What values not shared, and which group failed to send a delegation. And figure out which NPCs are being influenced by them. Take time to celebrate and explore and complicate the positive connections too. The questions will help you put together a plot. Perhaps something has gone awry that makes the island so significant, or the traditions of the festival. Perhaps everything needs to be fixed before the climax, or the festival will be a disappointment. Once you know what the toxic powers want, and what the festival is all about, and have some NPCs, you'll begin to see how things might go if the PCs weren't there to interfere. After you come up with a few hints and hooks to get them involved in the various schemes, you've got an adventure ready to go. If you really want something different, you should say that the physical conflict moves apply to competitive dance-offs and do without the swords entirely. That could be fun. You could do competitive dance-offs. I am not necessarily opposed to that. There's actually a, in the, somewhere the Stormfall, they built had a supplement on how to do rap battles, which I thought was really cool. Jalen, it was like a whole thing. What's really going on? Some possible culprits. A group who seeks power wishes to bring the spring of the night into the mountains. It was once a meeting place for the people, and they wish it to be again. One of the custodians found that the fire had gone out and fears what it might mean. They have taken it to conceal this fact and want to find a way to reignite it, or fake it, before the others find out that it has failed. A group of lovers borrowed the star to bless their union, but it was stolen by a monstrous creature, to bless their own monstrous union. Okay, that's kind of fun. Also, I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat. We only have Wookiee, I think, because I didn't do the thing with the thing. But let me take a half-minute break to do a Majiggy What's It, if you guys are cool with that. Have a second break. And if you guys get bored, or you want me to switch it up to something other than TSL, let me know. We could also go back to Haven if you're down with that. I'm actually not opposed to the theory of going to this haven. Actually, also I have to keep an eye on the time because I might have to end this soon. But okay. Okay. All right. Cool beans. All right. Let's see. PCs could use help finding out what happened, but someone doesn't want them spreading the news of the problem. Ooh, there's that. Ooh, that's a really fun, gorgeous picture, honestly. Misplaced blame. A rival accuses a PC of the misdeed and challenges them to a duel or dance-off. All right. Stolen again. A creature that fancies fire, such as a moth giant, found the stolen star and claimed it for their own. Okay. Social obligations of the festival require the PCs to help with disputes when they really need to be finding the star. The PC's rivals and crushes are no doubt involved in the conflict, of course. Oh, when multiple people touch the external star at the same time, the one with the highest spirit rolls plus spirit. Oh. Actually, if you touch the thing, it actually does a thing, okay? The star has seen this all before and assures you it will be alright. Each participant may ask the star a question relating to the past or feelings of any participant and gains +1 4 to act on the answer. 7 to 9. You share a cryptic vision composed of flashes from your dreams. The GM will describe it. Each participant must give a string to another participant of their choice, and each can see through the scenes of the others until the sun rises, though the sense is distorted by green flame. In either case, the star's fire changes color from orange to green until the next sunrise, and anyone rolling this move while the fire is green or extinguished must mark a condition. Wow. Ooh, Gal Paladins. It's fun. And then there's the 3 houses. So there's the 3 houses. Oh, and then there's the Castle Grayskull. Right, the Castle Grayskull one. And then, ooh. Alright, and then Sparkleheart Magical Force Go! Sorry. Has to have an exclamation point. And then, so there's those ones. More scenario ideas. Beaver Crossing. Okay. I get what they did there. I see what they did there. Mm-hmm. Very clever. Dragons and Dungeons. Oh, sexy monsters and a cute drama focused on the home community of the dungeon. Or venture forth and explore our oppressive and judgmental surface world. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Ah. The treasures and relics from your cultures have been plundered and brought to Imperial Core. Yeah, imperialism. Retrieve them from the fortress-like museum guarded by deadly traps, keen-eyed adversaries, and misdirected fury from the relics themselves. Don't be surprised if the creators want to add you to their collection. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Sort of Affairs. Sordid Affairs. Your realm is progressive and positive, but fragile. A word whispered in the right ear or a well-placed blade could bring it all down. And you've sworn to keep that from happening. Your realm could be as small as a village or as large as you desire, depending on how personal and community-oriented you want the game to be. You may now kiss the bride. You're an expert wedding planners who travel from planet to planet to troubleshoot the most troubled of weddings. Or maybe you solve problems marriages before they start, using a combination of swordplay and seduction. For even more scenario ideas, though this one would probably be the one after the best days of their lives. What if not swords on page 196 if you want to do something a little very radical, including like roller derby or debate club or something. Let's see, because this is interesting. All right, hang on. Nice little Grayskull, 3 houses. We got the Gal Paladins. Okay. Team of sword lesbians, sworn to the goddess Galadia. As Gal Paladins, your holy duty is to protect the love and well-being of those of marginalized genders. Okay. You're in a tavern when a priestess of the goddess Repressia bursts in, crying out for heroes. Some new goddess, calling herself Vanilla, of course she does, has taken over her temple and her entire town, Muddy River. You might not see eye to eye with the priestess of the Order of Repressia, but the new goddess in the realm certainly bears investigation. Ooh, okay. Sorry. I need fuel for my brain. Alright. After your players select their playbooks, ask the questions. Basically this is how we... Anyway, what is the tenet of Galadian faith do you find most difficult to follow? Infamous Trounder, a trickster. Why did you swear you would never return to Muddy River? And, alright, so you have history in town. Chosen devoted or seeker. And why is the regard of the Order of Repressia important to you personally? Ooh, okay. Beast, nature, spooky witch, nature witch or spooky witch. What is the only natural predator of the giant mud oysters that live in Muddy River, and why is it so dangerous? Okay. Anyway, what rumor have you heard about why the people in Muddy River favor Repressia over Galadia? Did something specific happen? How long ago? How confident are you in the truth of this rumor? The goddess Vanilla is actually a con artist, possibly known to the trickster under different guise. She pretends to bless the mud so the town can sell it as a beauty product, but she's really after the pearls in the Riverside's mud oysters. When the villagers bring her enough of these, she'll bail and move on to the next scheme. How does she convince them she's a goddess? Pure force of personality? Does she have a monstrous nature that might appeal to a spooky witch? A magic item to raise in the chosen destiny, or the infamous past? Oh, yeah, if she has a magic item that convinces people she's a goddess or something. Scene ideas. The natural predators of the mud oysters are on the rampage because the villagers impinging on their territory to nab the oysters. This is a good opportunity to rescue some villagers who might be helpful or intriguing later on. For instance, a newly minted acolyte who is putting herself at extreme risk to wrestle an oyster away from a dangerous beast. Some downbeats might lead the villagers to getting emotional sway over the PCs, the PCs taking conditions. Several downbeats might mean that Vanilla arrives and the beasts miraculously relent. Does she have some sway over them? Ooh, there you go. That's an interesting approach. The audience with the goddess. This was once the temple of Repressia, but now contains curtains of vibrant colors adorning the beige walls. For too long, the people of this land have been forced to choose between extremes, the joyless Repressia and the flagrant Galadia. I have descended from my cloud garden to show people a new way, a way of simple joys. Vanilla is in her element with the worshippers all around her. Anyone attempting to use move directly targeting her probably has to defy disaster to avoid being awed by her instead or tossed out by her congregation. It's possible that a very effective group of PCs can expose Vanilla immediately. In that case, the adventure can resolve around protecting the town from the repression backlash. More likely, PCs get some clues that is not as all as it seems, and discover that they need to get the villagers on their side or find some hard evidence before confronting Vanilla. Okay. If the action lags, the PCs are unsure how to continue, or a downbeat gives you a chance to complicate matters, then Dame Chastity, Knight of Repressia, arrives to rescue people of Muddy River from sin. Her arrival reminds the PC that this situation isn't just about Vanilla, but of the future of Muddy River. Vanilla's acolytes will shield her from Chastity, and tense standoff ensues. Will the PCs pick sides, play both sides, seduce everyone? Some consequences to think about when posing hard choices and making GM moves. Innocent acolytes get hurt by Chastity for their own good. The actions of the PCs cause the villagers to favor Vanilla or Repressia. Vanilla tries to escape with the treasure chest full of pearls. Vanilla has sabotaged the bridge to cover escape. Mudbeasts prowl below. Ooh. Abstinence, denial, faith, modesty, prudence, purity, temperance, wisdom. Additional Repressian names. Alright. The real goddess Vanilla sends her missionaries after the con artist who turns to the PCs for aid. Oh, wow, okay. So it turns out, oh yeah, the goddess Vanilla does exist. She's just not in this town. And oh yeah, she's pissed that they're using her face. Pressians capture someone important to the PCs as bait to ensnare them. Okay. That complicates things, certainly. Tempted by the pearl, the village chases off the Mudbeast for good. What a grander danger were the Mudbeast keeping at bay? Ah. Ecological disaster. Alright, I'm down with that. Then we got the 3 houses. I'm hoping you're enjoying this. I certainly am. I do plan on tweaking this a little bit. Like, we could tweak Haven. I think will be the start of it being tweaked, but we could make Ollie some interesting fodder. Of course, I need something to play with first, but you know. The 3 houses of the realm have a long and bloody history. At the end of the last war, your parents agreed that you would all be schooled together at the Academy of Hope. What bond will you forge as classmates to prevent the next war? This scenario involves a detailed world full of threats and conflict, suitable for a series of adventure. The GM section includes several potential hooks. As a group, answer the following questions to develop the shared world. Why was the last war so horrific? Okay. Mind control magic, undead contagion, unleashing of monsters, mundane horrors of war, loss of culture and learning, distrust and internal purges, creepy automata. Ooh, that could be some fun stuff. Why was the site chosen for the Academy? Magical null point, intersection of the 3 realms, remote and inaccessible, hidden in plain sight, so as to never forget the horror that transpired here. So it's the site of a massacre. They were like, we're gonna put the school here and then we'll never forget. Hopefully. Who it is entrusted with running the academy? Representative of all 3 houses, an officially neutral party, representatives of a shared faith, the one with the most aggrieved by the war, the few survivors of Greenhouse. Next, each player should describe a location at the academy that would be a dramatic place for a sword fight. Each player should pick one of the 3 houses, red, blue, and yellow, ensuring that each is represented within the group of PCs. Players answer the following question about their houses. What animal symbolizes each house? Why? Blue house, dog, fish, hawk, Kirin, wyvern, spider. Red house, turtle, elephant, dragon, tiger, bison, or bee. The yellow house gets whale, a griffin, a scorpion, seahorse, moose, or ostrich. I guess you have to pick one of them, and I guess you get to pick from that small list, and then you have to figure out exactly why. Choose one of the following or invent another as the principal grievance each house has against the other. Loss of pride, conquered territory, unlivable territory, civilian deaths, public torment, mind wipe former heroes, extinction of a population or resource, heresy, starting the last war, unleashing a threat to all, dishonorable tactics. So each house believes the others are only growing stronger with time. Choose one of the following or invent another for each. Pacts with evil creatures, transportation magic, new weapons. Oh, so each of them gets one of this cool new thing. An unstoppable hero, a prophecy, growing economic power, fertile lands, a divine blessing. So each of them gets... So each of the houses has one shitty thing that they did to the others that they're being held accountable for, and then they each have one fancy new thing that's making them more powerful, and that balancing it out. Use the 3 houses tracking sheet to record these answers. Oh, available at swordlesbians.com. Each house qualifies as a toxic power for the purposes of moves such as call on a toxic power. So they're all toxic powers. Okay. I mean, it makes sense. They're just... Yeah. Custom relationships. Select playbooks and create characters as usual, except for the following relationship prompts. Then each character chooses one of the 3 standard relationship prompts to establish, whichever seems most dramatic. Then assign each other PC 0, 1, or 2 strings as normal. Beast. Your house hoped you would be civilized by your time at the academy. Who helped you avoid being domesticated? Have they become more wild themselves? Chosen. Who in house is most invested in your destiny? Do they personally agree with their house's position? Oh, whose house is most invested in your destiny? Is it your house or another one? And do they personally agree with their house's position on what's going on? Who is the most sympathetic to your devotion despite their house's wishes? Okay. Infamous. Though young, you were instrumental to one of the horrors of the last war. Who was the most personally harmed? And why are they gonna hate you? Nature Witch. You've been repeatedly visited by animals representing one of the other houses. What do you think this means? Whom have you told? Scoundrel. You kissed someone you shouldn't have. Why not? Who will be most upset when they find out? Ooh, forbidden love. Seeker. One of the authorities at the academy pressures everyone to abide by the commandments you follow. Who is most at odds with this person? Spooky Witch. Who helped you cover for you when you sneaked a forbidden monster into the academy? Ooh, there's a forbidden monster in the academy if there's a Spooky Witch. Okay, that's a thought. That is some interesting things. And Trickster. Someone confided the secret in you that you passed along to your house, giving them an advantage. Does this person who trusts you know of your betrayal? The GM section. Adventures designed to create a fraught situation where the PC's connections to one another are at odds with their loyalty to their house. Each house believes the others are gaining power, meaning they must either strike first or trust in the other's benevolence. After a long and horrendous war, trust is in short supply. Yeah, this is going to be fun. I see where they're going with this. Okay. The scenario is complex enough that it lends itself best to a longer game of at least 3 sessions. Early on, throw the characters into shared danger to help establish their friendships. Remind them of the competing demands placed on them by their house, as each continues to seek advantage. Introduce peers, superiors, and the NPCs who represent the house's interests. Make the academy fantastic and dangerous in its own right. Perhaps it contains a secret of its own, and each house wants them for itself. Mid-game, stir the old feuds between the houses. Depending on your group, either let the PCs do their scheming and politicking to achieve peace or power, or introduce hints of a threat that wants the houses fighting when they really ought to unite. Ooh. Shared threats. Finish a dramatic event that brings influential figures from all 3 houses to the academy, such as a final test or graduation ceremony. Emphasize how tense things are between these leaders and how easily the police could shatter. The PCs must navigate their obligations, a final test, a ceremony, a graduation prank, and prevent a war. Throw in a precipitating event, a murder or missing person, the first sign of plague weapon from the last war, a theft of critical or incriminating secret that puts pressure on. Graduation provides a nice setting for denouement and a happy ending. In a single session game, you have little time to establish trust between the PCs and the pressure on them from their house. Set the session at a final test, something dangerous and involved with representatives of all the houses present. Using a super obvious trigger for the potential war, like a murder or theft of an important house relic. A single PC should be behind the attempt to start the war when someone with connections or to one or more of the PCs, but different priorities. The session rolls around preventing the war, getting to the bottom of the crime, and maybe even passing final tests along the way. One can hope, right? You at least pass your finals. Adventure ideas. The PC's professor is killed in the wee hours one night, and the murder method is something that several students would have access to. Worryingly, the professor had one of the few keys to a ritual chamber, treasure vault, or some other place holding great power, and now it's missing. In truth, one of the PC's fellow students is the killer, but they acted in self-defense. Hi! Hello! Welcome! How are you? Tomorrow we're doing fantasy. We're doing Warhammer Fantasy tomorrow anyway. But Thirsty Sword Lesbians today. This one is a bunch of students from warring factions all training together, and they have to prevent a war, possibly. Because the professor apparently maybe killed one of his students. Well, one of the students killed the professor in self-defense. Actually, we're going to read into it. Ah. Ooh. The professor had recently been turned into a vampire by one of the other students and was going to feed on the student who turned the tables and killed them. Knowing the professor's key shouldn't be left lying around, the student took it with them when they fled the scene. Now vampires are after them to get the key, and the PCs are after them as they investigate the murder. I did not see, but I should probably do that before I go to work. Thank you for reminding me. Hopefully it doesn't annoy Chuck. I'm for it. I'm for excitement and adventure. The PCs are dropped into the labyrinth of terror and must find their way out. If they go deeper into the labyrinth, they may find the jewel of truth, which can root out the subterfuge. Along the way, they may encounter spirits, monstrous residents of the labyrinth, other students attempting the test, perhaps separated from their groups, or with their own agendas. Meanwhile, the longer they spend in the depths, the more things grow out of hand amongst the House representatives. Oh. Fun. Okay. That should be fun. Ooh, that sounds really fun. I'm excited about that. Let's see. There's Professor Marigold, an exile from Yellow House who betrayed the house's interest to save lives on all sides. Emerald, the last survivor of Greenhouse, devastated in the war, guardian of the house's secrets and surviving relic. Blue House. Teal, aggressive beast rider, will cover for anyone in Blue House who is accused. Cobalt, a spellcaster, conversant with the unseen. Sapphire, shy, bookish, keeps note on other students, and doodles her favorite ships. Oh. Oh, okay. That does sound interesting. Oh, that's good stuff. Sorry. Nobleman. Oh, Vermilia. So we got the Red House. We got Vermilia. Nobleman, author of scathing theatrical productions. Ooh, fun. Musset, armored warrior with a giant two-handed blade. Scarlet, tactics and battle magic. Unexpressive but solid friend. Ruby, psychic fighter, telepath, wants to make art and dance. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Yellow House. Saffron, heir to the Yellow House, rich as AF, dabbles in chemical science. Lemon, small, disaster lesbian, up for anything but with a vengeful streak. Susan, belligerent, drunk, frequently scraped and bruised, occasional black eye. Conspirators, the Blood Queen. The last war was a feast for vampire kind, but feeding during the peacetime threatens to reveal their presence. They seek to rekindle the war to conquer the living, and/or conquer the living. Shade, secret identity of one of the students who has been turned into a vampire. She lured the professor into a trap and turned them into a vampire a short while ago, and is after the key to do some evil. Ooh, okay. Creatures of the depth. Alright. Alright. Have fun running errands. Yes, absolutely. Do not forget your insulin. I will be mad at you if you do. Go. Have fun at Walmart. I will see you later. So we got Salmira, the guardian lesbian snake. Guards the jewel of truth. If one is pure of heart, she must let them pass, but wants to know their intentions. She fears the jewel will end up in the wrong hands. You'll find something. For sure. Then there's Chalice, tea-loving lesbian spider. She ensnares intruder because no one will come to tea with her otherwise. She has all sorts of treasures from past guests and will be very offended if anyone assumes she kills them. These are gifts from new friends who promise to return. The only one who ever has, though, is Shade, the vampire student. She has a bit of a crush on Shade and tied up the professor on the vampire's behalf so they could be turned. Oh, and then there's the Castle Grayskull. Okay. A generation ago, a powerful villain known as Vanguard. Alright. So this is... The Three Houses does sound fun. Oh, there's the tea spider. A generation ago, a powerful villain known as Vanguard arrived on your world and began a campaign of conquest. Things were far from perfect before she landed, though. The ruling princesses had divided the rich, fertile Sparklands among themselves and condemned anyone who didn't meet their rigorous standards for harsh and perilous Badlands. When Vanguard arrived, she found Melly willing to join her. Her technology can provide power and comfort unheard of outside the princesses' castles, and some joined her simply in opposition to the princesses. She has no bias against monstrous people who are cast out of the Sparklands, and she eagerly gives them a place to belong in exchange for their service. As powerful the Vanguard is, though, the princesses wield mighty magic of their own. The two sides have reached a stalemate, each growing more and more desperate to find an advantage that will tip the balance of power in their favor. Amidst the turmoil, a handful of heroes uncover a mystery that leads them to the truth about the Vanguard, the princesses, and their very world. The mystery of Castle Grayskull. The scenario lends itself to a longer campaign of multiple adventures. Alright. I'm interested. I'm afraid this might have to be my last one, though, because it's almost 3 o'clock and I have to clean this, and then I have to get ready for work, and then I have to 100 other things. It's a good answer the following questions, develop your shared world. The princess recognized the person of all real-world variations of humans, but considered other people monstrous. Is there any variation that they do tolerate? Cute animal features, variations that fit a princess' aesthetic, extra arms/wings. So what's the cutoff line for good human enough? What does Vanguard say? Why does Vanguard say her conquest is justified? To free the world from the princesses, to protect the world from an outside threat, to share the princess' magic with everyone because the strong should rule the weak. Religious reasons. Which princess is the most dangerous and why? Which is the most sympathetic? So there's Tempestria, the volatile storm princess. Sharkopella, the music-loving teeth princess. Clandestina, the mysterious spy princess. Twilight, the nerdy goth glitter princess. Choose playbook as normal. Ask each player the question matching their playbook and consider as they create characters. Choose names are descriptive of characters' attributes like the princesses' names. Okay. Wait to do the relationship steps of character creation until instructed after the question about how the group became a team during their visit to Castle Grayskull. Beast. An outcast from princess society, why are you especially objectionable and not accepted even when your comrades and fellow outcasts are? Are you betrothed to a princess, to Vanguard? Will you discover etchings in the Castle Grayskull that scheme to dictate your destiny? Or is destiny something else entirely? It's true. Are you devoted? Are you a true believer in the cause of the Vanguard, or a princess, or the Chosen, perhaps? Perhaps more loyal to the stated cause than any of the leaders truly are? Infamous. You have cast off either Vanguard or princess. What do you think of the other side? Okay. Nature Witch. Something badly disrupted the natural world. What were the first signs you noticed, and how much worse has it gotten? One of the princesses is your ex. Ooh, scoundrel. And you didn't even leave on great terms. Which one? Which princess? What compelled you to question the ways you've been taught for the Seeker? What tempts you about the teaching of the Vanguard and or the princesses? Spooky Witch. Has this conflict been good for the unseen or harmful to them? Trickster. Is there any side of this war that you haven't double-crossed or played for fools? The PCs arrive at Castle Grayskull at the same time, but the castle brought them together. Decide as group. When the PCs arrive at Castle Grayskull, are they operatives of the Princess, the Vanguards, neither, or a mix of allegiances? Why have the PCs come to this ancient abandoned castle in the wild and uncontrolled territory? That's a good question. Jim. Alright, here are the world building questions. If the listed playbooks aren't in play, ask the question of someone else. Everyone should answer at least one question. If more than one named playbook's in play, they can answer from their own point of view or agree on an answer. Whether answering a question adds sensory detail about the castle or its perils, it ties thematically to your answer. Chosen Seeker or Spooky Witch. What ominous legend have you heard about Castle Grayskull, and how does the arrival of Vanguard fit into it? Ooh, ominous legends are fun. Scoundrel, Spooky Witch, and or Trickster. Sorry. How did the castle show you it knew your heart? And why did this bring you close to the other PCs? Beast devoted infamous. The castle hints at a source of great power somewhere in the region. What do you most fear that Vanguard of the Princesses would do with that power? Chosen, devoted, or nature witch. What do you learn from Castle that gives you hope that you and your friends can use this mysterious power for good? Or at least keep it out of the wrong hands. Scoundrel, seeker, trickster. What part of the castle did you mess with? Or what did you take that caused its defenses to chase you all out? Oof. Everyone. What about this experience brought you close together as characters? In a one-shot, you can focus on the story on the race for the mysterious power, but the complexity of relationships in this scenario means that it may benefit from being spread out over multiple sessions. Highlight what's toxic and what's appealing about the Vanguard and the princesses, both sides. Show NPCs who don't know how to proceed when both sides of this war want to exploit them. Show NPCs making bad choices for understandable reasons, that the PCs show them alternatives or relieve the pressure they face. This scenario provides ample opportunities for former friends and old flames to show up as adversaries. If the group includes PCs from the Vanguard or Princess forces, they might even go back to headquarters after leaving Grayskull to gather information, which is a great opportunity to see the complicated relationships with leaders and hench people on both sides. Decide with your group how realistic you want to be in your approach to problem solving. You can try to organize people to stand against both toxic powers, or you can go for a hidden magical artifact and seduction. Both ways of playing are valid, just get on the same page about whether or not one of these options is something in between is what excites your group. Adventure ideas. An independent village, perhaps the PC's village, faced some crisis and one side or the other has offered to solve it in exchange for a steep price. Someone in the village asked the PCs to help before they have to bow before one of the toxic powers. The toxic power could even be creating the problem, not just exploiting it. Introduce a recurring adversary early on to act as the face of each toxic power, perhaps even a princess herself. Spark to ignite the end. The PC learned the mysterious hidden power near Castle Grayskull must be the legendary Spark, a power that can restore the idyllic utopia of the ancient world. Obtaining the power of the Spark for herself is Vanguard's true motive for her conquest. Well, the princesses believe they can use the power to defeat Vanguard and anyone who would oppose them. If activated, though, the Spark works by resetting the world to ancient state, threatening to unmake everything the PCs hold dear. So it's just kill everyone. I mean, it works. The Vanguard, mysterious central figure throwing the old order of the world into chaos. Flush her out only after you know what the PCs care about so that you can make them both appealing and villainous in a way that will speak to them. In broad strokes, she comes with great promise and gifts of fantastic technology to prove her good intentions. Her acceptance is given without regard to the princess's rules. Her only demand is obedience. Her orders seldom interfere with daily life except when she wants to dig up ancient Templar house, a military force in town. Vanguard's elite. Petrify, Salamander General. Clad in armor of jagged obsidian and wreathed in flame, Petrifier sees herself as Vanguard's champion. She came with Vanguard from the stars and knows more of her secrets than anyone else. Petra refuses to acknowledge that anyone from this backwards world could be worthy of a place of honor by Vanguard's side. Spindrift, lesbian operative, lesbian spider operative / surfer. Spindrift used to break into the Princess Tempestia's domain to catch sick waves, and then the Storm Knights could never catch her. The princess herself blasted Spindrift with lightning and left Zerver dead, and Vanguard found her and nursed her back to health. She is now one of Vanguard's most loyal and canny agents, especially in abduction and ambush. Hang 8, dudettes! That's her catchphrase, apparently. Sparkleland and Princess. Sparkleland Princesses. Clandestia, the Spy Princess, rules a secret domain and works to root out dissidence and difference within the Sparklands. Oh, the Sparklands! That's why the Spark. Okay. Skilled at disguise and stealth, one can never know when she might be watching. She probably has a swarm of little birds that, people who spy for her. She probably has quite a few of those. Shrikapella, the Teeth Princess, can transform to a fearsome shark beast to terrorize her foes and belt out her favorite songs. Anyone seeking to interrupt her transformation sequence would have to defy disaster on account of the sparkly ribbons of shark teeth that surround her during the change. The other princesses really should object to her bestial form, but see no reason to be consistent with their prejudice. It's alright when she does it. She's a princess. Ooh, that's fun. Tempestria, the Storm Princess, flies on wings of lightning and favors quick, decisive action. Unless you have an invitation, you almost always need to defy disaster to even speak with her. Twilight, The Goth Glitter Princess. Shrouded in an aura of sparkling darkness. When not writing gloomy poetry, she can be found in her laboratory, inventing new, darker colors and making magical glitter with a variety of effects. She sounds kind of fun. Oh, and then there's Nana Batamam, a wise old bat, literally. The wrinkled Batwoman is a dependable source of exposition and plot hooks, asking only for fresh fruit and a good company in return. Castle Grayskull. The castle itself sometimes behaves as if it has personality and intent. The corridors and traps shift from place to place, uncovering secrets long buried. It might be random, but Castle Grayskull is a place where seemingly impossible coincidences become commonplace. Oh, and then there's the Sparkle Heart Magic Force Go. Okay. Okay. I really do have to end the stream here because I have freaking class. Not class, I have work. I wish it... Nah, I don't wish it were class. I like work. Alright, here's the vibe. I appreciate you all coming. I know it was a little... I mean, it was kind of fun to dissect, I thought. We could have done more world building, and not just, picked apart this pre-built scenarios. But hopefully, at a later date, we can do something fun with that. I have a plan. I'm going to use the Discord for that. I really appreciate all you showing up. And anyone who comes later and decides to watch it afterward, if that's a thing that happens. We have 3 viewers, so hi there. My name is Lee, as you know. They-ish vibes today. He or she is fine. I'm pretty chill with pronouns. The Discord, I think all of you are my people, and none of you need to know about the drawing the Discord, but I will invite you all to the Discord anyway, and then if you're already there, more power to you. You'll get a second invitation. Invite people. Yep. There we go. So that's the Discord. I really appreciate you all coming. We're gonna do a raid, if that's cool with you guys. I think that would be quite a time. Here we go, raiding. Let's raid Rammus again. Oh, Critical Role is having a rewatch, I bet. Yeah, let's go with Rammus again. He's really cool. I do hope you all come by, and I really appreciate you all hanging with me. Yeah. Hang tight, and I will see you tomorrow for actual Warhammer Fantasy. I promise this time.